What's up, guys? So this is going to be a ticker review for SMCI. But before I get into the analysis for this, if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button and leaving a comment below, I'd greatly appreciate it. Also, if you're interested at all, I post all day in this Discord, my entries, my exits, and my thoughts going into the day. It's completely free for right now. It's not always going to be free, but for now it's free. So if you want to take advantage of that and learn, ask questions. But let's get into this chart real quick. So out on the monthly, you can see we're still extremely extended because we just pushed up again. We're still close to all-time highs. We're at 93 RSI. And really extended from our moving averages still. And then we have a lot of time on the monthly chart, but just to keep perspective there, we're at 94 RSI on the weekly, and most overbought this has ever been. Obviously still have this gap I'm targeting right below, and we're pushing up with bearish divergence on this daily chart. So we hit 90, almost 97 RSI before we dumped that first time. So any new high, it's going to carry out that divergence. And like I said before, I'm looking at this as the wedge doesn't look good, to be honest. Like I'm touching here on an hourly chart and in this wick of this candle and just doing two touches here. But it kind of feels like it. Like I said, the volume's tapering off as we're approaching the apex. It's barely pushing right now. And I just think my I just think what's likely to happen is we're going to push into the S&P 500 inclusion, and Nvidia has that conference on the 18th to the 21st, so that would be a couple days after this. I think after that, there's going to be no more catalyst for this company. I know people love this company, and it's not like they don't make money, but their net profit margins are 8%, and they're not growing like Nvidia is growing. It's nothing crazy to justify this price. I mean, if you go back like exactly 1 year from current price, we're up 15x. You know what I mean? Like this thing has ran so hard, and it's not like it's not a good company, like I said. But at this point, I was saying it back here during this top. It's getting really bubbly. You can see all the gaps. We have another gap here since then, and then we start to come down here. My thoughts were that shorts were piling in. I was trying to play this the short side as well, to be honest. And I was trying to go for this gap fill and then potentially lower at the time. But then we had the S&P 500 inclusion, and that goes shorts out. So between back here and up here, I think it's just a short squeeze, and it's being artificially pumped. Now we have ETFs buying, so that's added buying pressure, but you can see the volume is really low. It's nothing crazy right now. If you go back throughout this whole pump, you know what I mean? It's really not that high. And we're approaching an apex if this truly is a wedge. Like I said, it doesn't really fit too well, but it just feels like it to me. And my thoughts are once we have those ETFs not buying anymore, which is Monday, you know what I mean? The volume's already low. Any selling pressure is just going to bring it down. So that's the way I'm playing it. I did enter a put on that today. Nothing crazy. For May, to give myself plenty of time. I did enter a little too soon. So we gapped up today above yesterday. So I was like, oh, that's another gap. I'm going to enter right away. And it was more for an anti-FOMO position. So I didn't wait for my zone. And that's something I could have done better myself. So I just entered it there. And now what I'm sort of waiting for is give me a signal. If we hit up here a new high again, I said we're just going to have more bearish divergence on this daily chart. So I would like to get one maybe Friday. So like I was saying a few videos ago, my thoughts are is we're going to grind up into this and maybe sell a day or two into it, maybe. So I was thinking about grabbing a position 10, but I made money on the short yesterday, so I was like, it's fine. I'm basically only playing with a little bit of profits right now on this, even with the push up against me, and I'm still green on this trade. So, and it's my only position right now, so it's just an initial entry. And my thoughts were to grab size and maybe more aggression on the strike price or the time once I feel that it's about ready to go. And I'm going to be a little more precise with the next entry. But between this and NVIDIA, like I said, it's in the same sector. this I'm a lot more bearish on than Nvidia. Nvidia's earnings were really good, and obviously they have the press conference next week. That's not specific to this company, even though they're in the space. Their margins are not Nvidia's. It's a completely different company. This is just a hyped up stock by retail. And in my opinion, like I said, we have the artificial pump in the stock price just due to the ETFs. I think there are retail getting FOMO up here, and they're buying. And once we actually do correct and fill this weekly gap, which I think is definitely plausible, they're going to be holding the bags unless they stop out. Um, I don't think there's going to be anything substantial talked about at this conference. I mean, who's to know really? But it's just going to be a new product that's a little bit faster and allows AI to do a little bit more. Everybody knows this. Like we know that they're advancing. We know that they're going to come out with a new product. It's a known event. My thesis is that's like I said. It's the 18th to the 21st that we're running up into this event, and you buy the rumor, you sell the fact. You know what I mean? It's going to dump. So that's just another reasoning for why I think this ultimately will go down. And like I said, I think this will be the straw that breaks the camel back on the actual market itself. So, um, yeah, right now, like I said, I have that one position. I'm just waiting. And outside of that, I'm not entering more in SMCI just yet. I'm going to be shorting NVIDIA tomorrow. That's my trade setup. If we gap up on NVIDIA against that all-time high, like I said, it was on volume. I did that in the other video if you want to check that out. That's my short play. And it's more for like an intraday short. Um, yeah, I'm still looking for this gap fill. Ultimately, this one as well. But that one might take a lot longer, but definitely this one. And it'll be a pretty good trade if it fills that gap. And I think that's definitely going to happen at some point. I have 2 months on those contracts, so plenty of time, and I have another entry I plan on making, so it'll get my average even better. Um, yeah, like I said, they have price targets as well at 1300 and 1350. So we could definitely push up again, like maybe on the daily chart, make another high. If you just look at the wedge, I would love for this to kind of show me that this is a wedge. You know what I mean? Like come up here, reject again, and be like, okay, we got our 3 touches. Bulls are strong still. Like you see, there's a wick here, wick there from yesterday, and then we had a wick and almost a full body above, pushing towards the high of day. So bulls are strong. The volume's just not there. So I said this is being pushed up by ETFs buying, and then, my opinion, retail. Hedge funds aren't. I mean, yeah, big money's not buying up here. Big money was buying down here during consolidation. That's what they do. They don't, buy up the tops. That's when they're unloading their shares, and retail gets left holding bags. So, yeah, that's just my thoughts on this ticker. And like I said, if you want to join the Discord, it's completely free for right now. The link's in the description below. And until next time, I wish you the best in the markets.